It's going to start off with Hunter versus Mage, and right off the bat, it looks like Trump is playing a very aggressive Hunter. He's got Jeeves in his deck. He's also got some Mech. This is going to be very interesting.
Mech Hunter.
Mech Hunter.
I wonder if he's running the, oh man, what even is it? The Mech Hunter card that gives you your mechs.
It's called
The admin's
the
still...
Leaping something.
The admin say in our ear, leaping something?
But he said it very Valley-esque.
It's a cat. It's some sort of mechanical cat creature.
Oh, man. And that might be bad news against Hunter, which can pop the ice block from just its hero power alone if it puts enough pressure on. Now, the Pilot Shredders doesn't surprise me at all. What I want to look for are cards, like you said, the Leaping something as well. Oh, this time Gooby didn't do so well. He got 3 and 3.
Oh, Gooby.
But,
come on.
I'm looking for whether or not Trump also has other cards to synergize with some of these mechs that could be really powerful.
Yeah, it seems like unless you are having those cards that synergize with it, then I think the standard Death Rattle Hunter might even be better because you're cutting something for these mechs. And what could that something be? Well, I guess Mech Warpers can take the spot of...
Oh, man.
I don't even know.
I really am scared about how much damage it can, the Mech Hunter can do if I think about it. Like, because it has basically a Savage Roar attached to that card.
But you're splitting your openings. You're like, well, I can have a really good Mech Warper opening, or I can have a really good Undertaker opening.
Yeah, it felt like that's what Mage was doing when they had Undertaker and Mana Worm for a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had ways it could be super aggressive through its spells, and then grabbing tempo, or it can just get Death Rattle with like Loot Hoarder, and that was like back in the day. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it is right now.
I think that's okay with Mage because they're a little more versatile. But I don't think that's necessarily that great in Hunter. But we'll have to see. I mean, we've only seen, what, 7 cards in this deck, so...
So, Magicamy pops the secret. You want to minimize damage as much as possible. Haunted Creeper, not too much of a threat. It is sticky, so Doomsayers are less effective, but look at this powerful turn here. Trump sees that it's Ice Barrier. Definitely on the knowing side.
Metal Tooth Leaper is the card. No one helped me on that. Pulled that from the deep pool of knowledge that I have in the back of my brain.
What TJ did was he popped a pill from Limitless and accessed the subconscious.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks, me.
You want to do this cast by yourself? Seems like you got it.
Yeah. Let's go. See you, Dan. I got this one.
This is quite the pickle here for Magicamy. She's like just out of the range to do a lot of things, damage-wise as well as mana-wise. And Trump has no signs of stopping his aggression anytime soon.
An Animal Companion. I guess that's a good card no matter where you put it.
One thing I've always respected about Trump is that he's willing to build his own decks and not listen to what people say are conventional good decks unless he's tried it for himself. He's definitely a player through experience and not necessarily just through theory, even though theoretically he's also done a lot. But I remember so many times throughout Fight Night or other tournaments, he's just brought stuff that people he shared deck lists with teammates and they're just like, I don't think this is good. And Trump's like, I don't care, and he still wins with it.
Trump, I don't know what you're doing right now.
Oh man, Huffer's bad news for the Mage player. So much pressure. And that is confirmation that most likely this is an ice block.
Yeah. And doesn't empty his hand just yet. He thought about emptying his hand, and reversing switch could have been a little awkward on what he used it on. And then just throwing down the Jeeves to start getting that draw engine early on.
One thing that a reversing switch is really good for too is killing Doomsayer. It's a 0-7 that if you flip it, it becomes a 7-0 and it automatically kills itself.
It's really good at that, but how often, one, do you get reversing switch, and two, get reversing switch in a situation where either your opponent's
Freeze Mage.
running Doomsayer?
It's happened to me several times when I'm playing Freeze Mage against Hunter.
Wow.
Well, Trump uses the reversing switch here, and this is where he's getting 3 cards, but he is going to get heavily punished by Blizzard.
There it is!
The Metal Tooth Leaper. But unfortunately, it's about to go kaboom.
Wow.
Yikes.
Blood Mage Thanos as well.
That's still a lot of minions that came out on board.
Yeah.
He killed everything, and still 6 power remain. That's scary stuff. But now the explosive sheet becomes really strong.
Yeah, can clear the entire board next turn, just about, depending on what comes down.
We'll have to imagine Trump wants to take this still a little bit on the slower side of things, like Haunted Creeper, Annoytron, and Hero Power.
Yeah.
You want to be weaving in the Hero Power just because it's just so good to continue put damage on Mage.
And once upon a time, this matchup was actually really great for the Hunter. But now, they don't run Flare anymore. I haven't seen a Hunter deck that ran Flare in quite a bit of time. Might start to come back with the popularity of Mage increasing a bit.
Sure.
But being at 2 mana and being a very inefficient card in pretty much every matchup but the Mirror and Mage, it's can sometimes be a risky card to put in a deck. But if you can fit Metal Tooth Leaper in, you could probably fit Flare.
I would assume that the deck's too lean to have Flare.
That's true.
You're not trying to cycle towards anything, and you're making a call to shut down other people's traps.
Yeah.
Definitely on the optimistic side of things. It's like Magicamy doesn't trust in the Arcane Intellect being able to do much, and once again clears a significant amount of damage, but there's still so many sticky minions. Undertaker, a pretty decent draw here. Magicamy, of course, looking to try and grab a Flame Strike as soon as possible. This Metal Tooth Leaper actually only gives +2 stats.
Yeah, but
even so, it's a 5/3, right?
Yeah, that's still good though. Well, in this case, just because you deny draws.
It's still really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it's very inconsistent, I guess. I mean, it's sort of in the same vein as a lot of other those 3 mana 3 drops like Blood.
Oh, what a draw! Oh man, that's.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Trump is like, what is it? And I think he knows. It's time for Flame Strike.
Oh no! Trump didn't even react. I'm very sad.
He did. He looked off whimsically to the side.
That's a very tame Trump reaction, though. Well, there's a second Metal Tooth Leaper.
I guess at its vanilla vanilla state too, it's still a 3/3.
Yeah, like I said, it's similar to like Mind Control Tech, Blood Knight.
Well, it's time to call for the big guns. Trump's in big trouble.
This is so much reach right now. He's only on a couple turn clock now.
Oh man, Trump already looks pretty defeated here. Maybe this web spinner though can crush dreams.
Nope. I mean, it's.
What if he gets King Crush?
Yeah, that's possible, but I just don't see it happening.
Because actually, he can't kill him anymore without Flare. He's done too much damage.
Yeah.
This will do 17 damage. That means that guarantees him.
Kill the.
Oh, I guess she plays
Leaper.
around Flare too. If you fireball the Metal Tooth Leaper, it's like playing around Flare. Because then she could Flare into Kill Command or something like that. King Crush? Nope. Guess not.
Oasis Snapjaw. The turtle.
It's okay if you fireball the face here, because you still have 13 points of burn next turn. So
yeah.
Actually, sorry, you have.
Aha!
Oh yeah, you have 13 points. So just attack, and then you guarantee it. Very safe, just in case. But Trump knows exactly what this means. He's dead. There's no way for him to actually survive and win this game.
The Glaive Azuka. All right, well, an interesting deck from Trump, but it does not prevail. And we'll have to see
Very slick moves from Amy this game. There were some decisions where it was a little bit tricky and she was under a lot of pressure, but she was able to navigate pretty effectively.
Indeed.
And Antonite is just going off and single-handedly 2-turn killing.
Aha!
Aw, look at that. There's some cute camaraderie happening. Like Trump's clapping and applauding, and she sends.
And I think the deck choices that Amy went with, they have really great matchups against a lot of things.
Oh man.
And decent matchups against some. And I like what she chose.
We've already learned a lot about Trump just in the 4 cards we see on screen here. The 2 big game hunters, and of course the 2 giants, which you've come to expect. That hand. 2 mountain giants. But Magicamy does have a big game hunter, and maybe that can seize enough tempo where the second giant won't be impactful.
Indeed. So, the second mountain giant could be problematic, but Amy does have a lot of answers for just about anything that Trump could throw. Keeper of the Grove for Twilight Drakes, big game hunter for giant, and should be in a pretty good spot. And once again, Amy, of course. Every single card she owns is golden.
Oh, that's right. That's one of the things that we joked about, how Magicamy has every single golden card possible. And golden hero portrait. Jeez.
And in every deck we've seen her play, she has golden hero portrait. Mage, druid, warlock, and warrior.
No way.
All golden cards, all golden portraits. That's a lot of Hearthstone.
That's borderline too much Hearthstone.
And the Tespa card back.
Right, that was the tipping point for me. I was like, how does she get this card back? Here's something that's painful though. Magicamy has nothing to do on turns 1 to 4 other than hero power. No wild growths, no nothing, no way to accelerate.
Yeah, double Spectral Knights clogging up the hand.
Well, the problem is, as much as you can get those big game hunters to line up against the giant, you need to do something along with it.
Yeah, it's very true.
And based off this logic, I think Trump might even opt to play Twilight Drake next turn, because even if she has the silence, she needs something a little bit more to kill off the Drake.
Is she thinking about cycling here? Is that what the thought process is?
Oh, that could be a legitimate thing too. I mean, it's a pretty hard turn to just accept that you have nothing to do, but I think she's got to pass.
Yeah.
I wonder if Trump's gonna play the giant or the Drake though. Feels like they're more likely to have the Keeper of the Grove. It's more likely they have a silence than a big game hunter. But with everyone running double big game hunter, the likelihood's about the same. But I do like the Twilight Drake for the very reason that we mentioned. Even if she has a Keeper of the Grove, there's nothing to add damage to it.
Yeah. And this is a Keeper of the Grove turn, but I mean, if she had a wild growth earlier, this would have been an easy like Keeper of the Grove Wrath for 1, which would have been a really powerful turn. And now it's just an empty, naked Keeper of the Grove, which I think they're naked anyway.
No, they have some fur.
I think that still constitutes as being naked, if you just have fur.
Not in the state of Oregon.
Okay. Because that's where centaurs are from, Oregon.
You don't know. Have you been there?
Yes, I have actually.
I think Spectral Knight is definitely stronger because then you're not going off curve for the rest of the game to effectively try to patch up. You just have to accept that this Drake's going to get some value and that the Silence will do a lot less damage.
And it's sticky. It's really hard to remove. You're not going to remove it with Defender of Argus, Mortal Coil, because you can't Mortal Coil.
Now the decisions start to compound, and you start to see the effect of how devastating it is to not have an early drop. And because this big game hunter doesn't allow Magicamy to silence, and now Trump can bully the board.
And Wild Growth would have been huge, because Wild Growth would have meant a Keeper of the Growth Wrath play for next turn, or even, if that wasn't possible, a big game hunter Keeper of the Growth for this turn. She's been 1 mana away from fantastic plays.
Do you like the attack into the Spectral Knight from Trump?
Yeah, because it's getting some value out of the Twilight Drake's health when you know that it could be silenced.
Right.
She thought about her turn a lot the last turn, and Trump probably realized that it would have been awkward for her to play Keeper of the Grove. So I don't think you're going to beat Druid by just killing them outright.
Sure.
I don't know if the damage necessarily matters if it goes on face.
It does give a chance for Wrath for 1 now is legitimate. You Wrath for 1, and then Big Game Hunter.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Or even Hero Power if you want to save Wrath, but
I don't necessarily
I think cycling is better here.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the only downside of Trump's play. It does give another way to deal with the Drake that's not even to Keeper of the Grove. So it is mixed, although I do agree that it's like cashing in for value sometimes is the better option.
And we know that Trump always cashes in for value.
Oh, not all the time. That's where he surprises people from time to time. Sometimes
So he's unpredictable.
I think he's often unfairly pegged as a predictable player, but I think he is oftentimes surprising people as well.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he'll surprise us today.
He already has. Metal Tooth Leaper.
That's true. That's very true. I was so surprised.
Also known by its commonly used term, Leaper something.
Leaper something. It's not even Leaper something. It's something Leaper.
Right.
God, whoever told me that it was Leaper something really needs to, to check themselves.
Get his hair cut, shaved into cornrows.
Yeah. I think that would be
We're looking at our admins.
I think that would be a viable answer to what he's done.
There's a lot of pressure. Amy needs to find a way to stop this giant from attacking. The good news is that Handlock has basically lost most of its burst potential outside of just using spells for like 6 damage a little bit. But they can't even like Soulfire. Before it used to worry about like double Soulfire and Hellfire.
Double Hellfire, Dark Bomb, the ultimate burst.
It's still like 10 mana, 3 cards for 10.
Yeah.
It is 10 is a significant burst. It's just for compared to the Leroy back in the day, or even double Soulfire was like crazy.
Or Arcane Golem, Power Overwhelming, Faceless, let the Darquanix Warlock.
Sylvanas is her best answer to try and address the board. Trump does not have a silence. What does he have here?
Yikes.
He's got his own Sylvanas. That in itself isn't very reassuring though, because his opponent might, silence it and then end up getting a very good trade.
Well, just go face and taunt up the own Sylvanas. I was going to say there's actually a couple different plays here.
Well, he's making a read based on, or he's making a play based off of necessity, as well as because he needs to play something. He can't just be passive and hold 10 cards, but also because Magicamy had the opportunity to silence earlier and she didn't. So, how do you do this? If you like Wrath Sylvanas for 1, your own Sylvanas for 1. Oh my gosh, can you do that? You Wrath your Sylvanas for 1, go into the Ancient Watcher, and then if you steal your opponent's Sylvanas. Oh wait,
Then you're taking 8 damage.
It's so complicated. I was trying to think outside the box here.
Yeah.
You might just have to silence Sylvanas, and
Either way, there's a big risk that the Mountain Giant's still going to be up next turn. Well, no, you can clear it off, but
I think you have to silence your opponent's Sylvanas. It gets too complicated otherwise. I was thinking about a cool play, but doesn't look like it's going to come down to it. She steals the Ancient Watcher, which is very bad compared to having the Mountain Giant.
bit unfortunate.
Yikes.
You do have more activator. Well, not even. A Keeper of the Grove you can use to activate, but that's not the best because you definitely have a lot of high priority targets to use the Keeper on in Handlock against Handlock.
Well, she did her best. to try to steal it, but in the end it was just a 50-50. Anything else would have been too dangerous, I think. And of course she needs to stop taking damage. She's too low health. So Dr. Boom being drawn. Let's see. It's pretty decent.
Well, he could double Hellfire, go face.
Well, let's save that for the finishing combo.
Put her at 4.
Yeah.
You'd still be left with a 2 health Mountain Giant with a lot of tools left in.
Well, you have to be mindful that your opponent might have combo too.
Even with combo, that wouldn't put him in combo range.
Put him within double combo range.
That's true. It's very true.
2 Savagers.
But then, what other play can he make right now that's going to put him out of range of double combo?
Not much. It has to involve Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
Oh, she is 1 card off from doing it too.
Whoa.
Hold on.
What are we holding
Is
on
she
for?
dead? I'm wondering. Is she dead? Also, Ancient Watcher is now a body which the boombots can hit.
Yeah. You could swipe the...
So if you swipe the giant, and assuming your Keeper of the Grove survives, you're still missing 4 damage on Dr. Boom.
Force of Nature.
That's true. You could use your combo to clear here.
Yeah. Force of Nature Saboteur would be a full board clear. Swipe Saboteur as well.
So the swipe is just to avoid the damage being done on the Keeper of the Grove unnecessarily. Oh,
wow.
Owie. Wait, is that game? I think she might be dead.
Yeah, that'll be 5
That's
health.
actually exact.
6 health.
That's exact
Oh!
amount for Hellfire to kill.
Wow.
Those bombs did so much damage.
Yes, they did. And, I mean, you have to think, both bombs had to go phase, and both bombs had to
Do at least 3.
do at least 3.
Well, one could have done 4 and the other could have done 2. So...
Oh, they had to do an average of 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So, looks like Trump's going to play a little bit into the top deck mind games, pretending like he didn't have it, but, oh!
Whoa!
Fake! No, he's got a second Hellfire. He's got it.
Is that BM? Is that BM from the unpredictable? Is that Prison Trump?
Oh,
I think
man.
it might be.
Heartless! This is where you Mortal Coil, and then oops again, and
Wow.
then you coin Hellfire. Oh, Trump! He looks so devious!
Trump, you animal!
Trump, if you're looking for the reaction from everybody else, like all your friends message you on Skype, like, what, WTF, man? It'll take a long time, because we're on a pretty long delay.
Wow. Okay, well, Trump finishes that game with... They're popular now, but we might see them falling off. And as much as I hate to admit it, and as much as I've been reluctant to admit it, I think that Warrior might be starting its decline.
Well, hold on. Hold off on that opinion until we start seeing this match, at least. We've got Trump.
It's a sinking ship already. It's a sinking ship.
Hold on. Until,
Okay.
Hold on until we see this game. Basically, that means you're voting for Magicamy. I still think Trump's in a really good spot here. I like Warrior against Handlock.
Yeah.
As much as I do agree with some of the sentiments that you put out.
Yep. We've seen 2 Warlock versus Warriors today. Handlock versus Warriors. And 1 went in the Warlock's favor, 1 went in the Warriors' favor. So this is also a tiebreaker for the Warrior-Warlock battle as well. And not the greatest of starting hands for Amy, though.
It's definitely not ideal until you pick up that 4 mana, or turn 4 play, that is. But for the most part, it's not as if Trump's sitting with the best hand ever either. If any threat comes out, how does he deal with it?
Yeah, that Mountain Giant, too. Looming. Well, that's an answer.
So he does have a way to deal with it. How greedy do you get with The Acolyte.
I think you throw it out.
It is definitely greedy though.
It's greedy, but
Your opponent needs to do something anyways because they can't.
Oh, that's correct.
They can't hold on and tap. I think it's just a Dark Bomb.
You're delaying threats by... Well, no, you're not, actually, because you would have had to play something this turn anyway.
Right,
I guess you're not tapping.
It was a greedy play, but it didn't pay off.
Yeah.
It's fine, too, because Trump still has another way to activate execute with his Deathbite. It's just sad because, well, there's a lot of potential in that Acolyte. It could have drawn 2 cards at least while being able to activate the execute.
That's true. It's very true.
Oh man, the fear of playing against the value. But good thing he does have that Cool Taskmaster to activate the execute though. That's really important.
Equipping the Despite and not attacking at that stage when you have execute seems a little bit not inefficient. I don't think inefficient is the right word. But maybe it is. Because if you're going to equip the Despite anyway, why are you equipping it if...
The mana. It costs mana. You're gonna be trying to play Shield Maiden throughout the next couple turns.
I guess there's not really too much of a fear of Harrison Jones.
Right.
It would have been the turn to use it, but...
Well, that card's very useful to have a turn ago. Or 2.
But if you're going to equip the Despite and not attack with it... If a Sludge Belcher came out, you wouldn't be able to deal with it cleanly. You wouldn't be able to use it to proc and execute.
Even so, you give up, like, you use the first half of Deathbite with the cool Taskmaster, and you still have the second Deathbite. It's just that you don't waste the damage. It's purely a value standpoint. I can understand where he's coming from. A lot of people might have made that attack, though, to have the second charge up.
Yeah. I can say that probably in most scenarios I would have. Depends how much you value your Cruel Taskmaster over how much you value the swing from your Despite.
Sure.
Because the damage is sort of inconsequential against Handlock.
It looks like a Defender of Argus can stretch this slightly away from Trump's grasps. He's going to need a little bit more to get rid of the Ancient Watcher easily. Everything else feels very weak. Just because, I don't know, I think Farseer doesn't fill out the curve. It doesn't really even heal you efficiently. It's just there's so much more you can do with that card as opposed to just simply putting out a 3/3 minion.
It feels pretty good here to be able to play a pretty clean Dr. Boom.
Well, it still gets a little messy because of Shadow Flame. So even if he plays Dr. Boom, you just attack the Defender of Argus into Dr. Boom and Shadow Flame.
Well, I was thinking he would throw the Shield Maiden into the...
Oh, the Ancient Watcher?
Yeah.
Well, I think you want to pick up the free value, right?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
You pick up a free card by killing off that 2/3. At least in our minds, you do. It's very tempting to Shadow Flame here. Shadow Flame, and you know what? No, you can't do that. You have to Shadow Flame that. I was thinking the Farseer, maybe healing, but you have to do this. Tap for the sequencing, very strong. So that way you can get 1 card deeper and just pass it back to your opponent after you Shadow Flame.
Really strong play. And not to worry about the health total, actually happy about taking more damage, I'd say, at this point. Well, no, maybe not happy, because you're never really happy, unless you're really trying to force out those Molten Giants.
You,
but
you can say it. It's okay to feel, TJ. You can feel whatever you want.
2 damage, though.
4 damage total.
Yeah, well, you know what I meant, man. I feel angry about you just assuming all these assumptions.
It's okay, let it all out, let it all out. Get it out before the land finals.
I feel like our relationship's becoming rocky. We're disagreeing on Control Warrior plays. That's the first step.
You know what this situation feels like?
What does it feel like? Control Warrior.
Situation feels a lot like Control Warrior.
It does. It really does. Great observation.
Yeah, how we're lining up removal for all of our arguments.
Yep.
We're just counterpointing each other to the finish. Half the people have no clue what the heck we're talking about. But TJ had this thing for a long time about how every deck in Hearthstone ever reminded him of Control Warrior. He would always make comparisons to it to the point where it just got ridiculous.
That's an exaggeration. Not every deck.
I might have embellished the details a little bit, but it was like almost every deck, like 9 out of 10 decks. It was like, oh yeah, definitely. That Jeeves in your deck reminds me of Control Warrior. Like when you draw cards off your Acolyte. I'm like, what? Come on, man.
There's actually a lot of people that agreed with me that Darquanix's Warlock actually played a lot like Control Warrior.
Get out of here. Get out.
Only 90s kids would get it.
Lock it up. Only 90s kids will get that. Well, no, the Lotheb and the Farseer were pretty much the only initiative threats, or sorry, and like questions that Magicamy could put out here. Still hesitant on the Jiraxis because you might just die. How does Trump respond here? I mean, it isn't wrong to just take a slower approach. I think Alexstrasza is a little on the quicker side because you might evoke Molten Giants, but you do have Execute and another Deathbite. I still think Sludge Belcher is okay.
Yeah, Alexstrasza though, you don't really have too much follow-up to it. Well, I mean, you have follow-up in the
You need
ways
to kill
of...
to end the game.
Yeah.
Because, well, now you don't want to attack. Oh, you do?
Whoa!
Whoa! I was not expecting that.
Trump, that's so bold! Such an unpredictable player.
He is. Told you.
Well, I'd say this is a pretty strong play here with, well, actually, no.
Well, I mean, now you Molten Giant Siphon Soul.
Molten Giant Siphon Soul.
Dark Bomb, or Dark Bomb even, so it's not as strong as of a play as it would be if she didn't have the Molten Giants. I'm actually very surprised that Trump went so aggressive. I was not anticipating that at all. I guess I'm used to people playing it very slow.
Used to Zalay.
I am used to Zalay.
Yeah.
And you know what Zalay rhymes with?
Not many things.
Relay. As in I
Cool.
as in I relayed that information perfectly.
Nice.
Well, now I don't know if there's a way to. Can you play around the combo? Yeah, you can. If you anti-kill Bob, you'll be at 21 health. Feels uncomfortable, but you're also on the verge of dying. Jiraxis does not feel that strong, but it might be one of those things where you're in such a bad position, you might have to take that risk.
Yeah.
The good thing about Jiraxis is you did keep the coin, so you can Jiraxis, coin, and Inferno.
Infernal.
Yeah.
One of the strongest plays in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're trying to think of something.
With Jiraxis involved, it's
Yep.
one of the strongest. You can definitely slide in some Molten Giants in there as well.
It's such a subjective thing.
It's like one of the best plays in the game. I'm like, well, there used to be this thing called Leroy and Shadow Step that would end games all the time.
Yeah.
So, and TKO bot here to just try and save the day. It's a very mediocre play, but that's the only thing you can do here. There's no power plays available to handlock, especially with such limited cards. And here's another thing to consider too. If you're a Jiraxis player, you need to have a good Jiraxis hand. Otherwise, you're just Infernoing every turn and playing whatever's at the top.
Yeah. Because you're giving up your
Right.
card draw mechanic.
This is why I was saying in the very beginning, I think Trump's actually in a pretty decent spot. Like, just having the Warrior line up against Handlock. It's very hard for Amy to be able to try and stabilize efficiently unless she gets an early lead on the board.
Yeah. And so in a way, putting on the pressure early and going aggressive with the Alexstrasza, even if you don't have the answers to be able to finish the game after the Alexstrasza, your opponent doesn't know that, so they have to continuously play around it. So it puts the handlock in a situation where they have to worry about being killed by Grommash combo every turn, and at the same time they have to make sure they're dealing with the big threats on the board.
I mean, Amy's doing her best to play around the combo, and finally the combo is here, so she's barely alive. Grommash with the Death Bite is, well, right now it's 10 damage because of that slime, but it won't be for much longer. Trump is basically going in for the kill here, and there's no way Magicamy can stop it, at least right now on paper.
Prison Trump has built his prison shank, and he's lurking up to Magigamy's cell.
Let's just stop. Let's stop the analogy right
For
there.
the kill!
Please.
Come on,
Let's
man.
stop the analogy right there. Good lord. And
I guess that wouldn't even be okay if Trump was playing against a male player either, so.
let's just stop the analogy right here.
Okay.
And to answer the question before the cast, I'm not going to read your novel.
It's really exciting. It's got a soundtrack.
Well, I think Magicamy is almost just guaranteed dead in the next 2 turns unless something dramatic happens and you know, Trump pretends to misplay and then actually does end up misplaying in the process of it. Like Ragnaros here is like perfectly fine to play here. She already dropped the Molten Giant and used Sylvanas even, so now Sylvanas can't really do some Shadow Flame plays.
Trump's trying to find a way to calculate a way to a lethal opportunity, but there is not one.
Yeah, looks like he's one off.
Yeah, he can leave just a Zombie-Chow on the board with a Rag and a 3 health.
Oh!
And get it.
Oh wait, I was about to say he can if he brawls and then attacks everything in the face, but he can't even because there's the slime.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like thinking about, is there any way to lethal this turn? I don't think so.
No.
So if there isn't, I still think Ragnaros is very strong here. Also, another heads-up play for Magicamy to silence the Baron, get him to not only protect it, but also to stop it from dying.
Yep. She would have been dead no matter what this turn.
It's been a while since I've seen Trump play, but he's also a notorious roper.
He is. He's a notorious roper.
Tends to take his time for sure. Oh, and it hits the face. Magicamy. Well, that's interesting.
But in a way, it's not.
No, I think she's still alive.
In her mind.
No, if you Draxus and then hit the Baron Geddon and then coin out Inferno, Ragnaros can miss.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
So, actually, there's still a way for her to live.
Well, I mean, again, in her mind. Oh, no, that's true, because even if you attack Grommash into the Zombie-Chow, you'll still have an Infernal out on the board, so,
Right. So there's
either
a
way,
chance for
though,
her to survive.
still in a really rough position, because even if Rag hits the Infernal in that situation...
Well, then you BGH. Ah!
doesn't even hesitate. And Magicamy, she doesn't even react to that.
No. But you
Stoic.
can definitely see her soul dying inside.
Yeah.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh, man. Do it. Do it, Trump. Do it! Yes! Kill her! I mean, not literally.
And this is
That's gonna
Magicamy,
be
dude.
game number 3.
Magicamy, newly picked up by Tempo Storm in her first tournament debut after joining the team. In one of her matches, Frodan yells out, "Killer, yes!"
And
Overall.
handlock.
And handlock. That actually be I don't know. It might be a cool format to like ban out specific cards, but it'd be strictly a fun format. I think it'd have to be really refined to be a competitive format.
Unless it's built into the game client itself.
Yeah. But You guys could definitely let us know what you think about our format. We're trying it out, trying something new.
Let us know at ESL Hearthstone or at AzumoQT. Is that your Twitter?
That is.
Or you can let me know at Frodan. Also, you can yell at us if we're being too distracting about the game, because there is a Hearthstone game amidst all of our very random comments.
Yep. Or you could just tell us how you feel, just in general.
Well, tell TJ, more importantly, tell TJ it's okay to feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great movie, Equilibrium.
Insert plug. Thank you.
They didn't even sponsor me to do that.
Christian Bale's right behind him right now, holding a knife to his throat.
I would not mind that.
I'm sure
That's
you
my
wouldn't.
novel. Would you like to read my novel?
No. I'm sure your novel feels a lot like Control Warrior.
It reads faster than a Control Warrior game, let me tell you that.
Alright, well, back into this one. Autopilot for the first couple turns of Warrior vs. Handlock.
So many possibilities.
I mean, she's thinking about decisions like, does she coin out the Drake next turn if she doesn't draw things, you know, and like, oh my god, did you know the Ironbeak Owl eyes glow? That is creepy as
Wow.
hell. Whoa.
Look at that. Yellow to green. That's incredible.
Why won't my owls do that?
Your Ironbeak owls?
No.
Your regular owls.
My regular owls.
Oh, you know what, man? I don't even know. Might want to bring him to a...
Blizzard, my owls, my pet owls' eyes won't glow.
Blizzard,
please.
please.
Wait, is she really thinking about not tapping? Uh-oh. Was there an internet connection issue? Wait, what's going on here? There might be some kind of an issue. Depends on how things are, because that is very like weird that she didn't do anything.
Mousing over the cards, unless that's our spectator.
That is our admin.
Okay.
I wonder.
My admin's also my roommate. I'm surprised he didn't go check on our owls.
Guys, I'll be right back. I've never checked if their eyes glow.
Wait, let me turn off the lights. Well, sometimes it does, actually.
Wait, sometimes your owl's eyes glow?
No, if you turn
Oh.
off the lights, you can like see birds' eyes and cat's eyes and stuff.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
creepy. Yeah, it looks like there might be some issue that we have to get resolved here.
Yeah.
Either that or Trump really doesn't know if he wants to armor up here.
Yeah. Well, might as well fire off the rocket.
Sound the alarm! Self-destruction.
Mayday.
Initiation.
Mayday! I wish I was in that rocket.
Okay. Well, it looks like she might have reconnected to the game.
Or not.
Uh-oh. Oh, man! Okay. So
Well, that caught us by surprise.
that game was very weird. I think there was some kind of connection issues, for sure, and we'll probably make sure to get that okay. In the end, the tap didn't really matter. It's all about whether or not the tap would have allowed them play like the Farseer. So if she tapped on turn 2, that Farseer could have been out on turn 3.
Mhm.
That actually can change a little bit of outcome of shield slams, which leads to removal, which leads to some other stuff. So there might have to be some ruling on that. But it is an issue that sometimes happens. Magaciamy's playing from Korea. Fun fact. She lives there at the moment, I believe. And Trump's playing from the very exotic Bay Area of California.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're going to decide to actually continue playing.
Okay.
So
A
I
little
guess,
unfortunate
Yeah.
that it didn't work out. But I suppose that's okay because Trump drew the Fiery War Axe, so the outcome would have been about neutral. Not to mention that he doesn't have Shield Slam, so it's about doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And I'm sure they. I'm not sure if it went down to like Amy's choice or if it went down since no cards were played, or if it was an admin's decision. Yeah, so both players, we just got word, both players gave the okay to continue with the game. So I guess Magicamy weighed her hand and said, I guess it didn't really impact me that much. So
Sure.
onwards!
Well, Trump has the perfect answer here to the Drake. But it's all about how does Warrior run out of answers? Does the handlock player seize the initiative on the board?
In a way, it feels good to execute a Drake like that, but in also a way, it feels bad.
Alright, what do you mean?
Because using a Cruel Taskmaster and an Execute to just get rid of a Twilight Drake, you're not really extending your board that much.
Well, I suppose it's necessary.
Yeah, I'm not
but
saying there's any other option.
You traded 1 for 1. It's not like you lost a Cruel Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still a 2/2 body.
But I feel like the value of a Cruel Taskmaster could extend beyond just...
It is, because if Lotheb comes down, you use the Fiery War Axe plus the Cruel Taskmaster. So here's the thing. Cruel Taskmaster did 1 damage. And then he did 2 damage to Lotheb, and then gained you a life. That's pretty reasonable for 2 mana.
True.
How does that make you feel?
I don't feel. I refuse to feel.
It's still pretty good. It's still functional.
Yeah. I'm sure there's an argument against what you just said, but I don't think I'm smart enough to make it. So I'm gonna say, good job, Frodan.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
My thanks. Well, this is pretty much what's expected at this point. Just use the Fiery War Axe. I like getting as much value out of the Fiery War Axe too. And he keeps the second Cruel Taskmaster. Now, if you said everything you did and said second Cruel Taskmaster, like the last one in your deck, because you can't have more than 2, then I completely understand your point. It'd be very difficult to like part ways with it.
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming at times to use multiple cards to get rid of one thing, especially against handlock when like the card advantage is like staring you in the face.
Right.
Like when you're sitting there using 2 cards for their 1 card, and then they draw 2 cards next turn, and have 10 cards to your 5 cards. You can sometimes feel like a little bit uneasy about the situation. But you brought up great arguments.
Well, yeah.
You can't look at it as, wow, he's got so many cards and I don't have many cards. I can't use many cards to get rid of his not many cards.
Well, handlock's gonna draw cards. There's just no ways about it. The only way you can stop handlock from drawing cards is to like be so aggressive that they feel like they can't tap, like aggressive hunter.
Yeah. You can sometimes do that as warrior, but usually it comes a lot later in the game, like an early Alexstrasza.
Well, Trump's gonna line up both his armor smiths, and hopefully these armor smiths don't snipe or don't get sniped by a 4 damage boom bot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty big win for Trump if he does manage to.
Oh, you know, these boom bots have been 2 and 3 and 1 damage all day. I've yet to see a 4 damage boom bot.
We actually saw 2 4 damage in a row earlier today.
Oh, you're right.
But those were the only 2 4s, and they happened
Back to back. Pretty wild stuff. Another 2 damage one.
That's actually fantastic boom bots for Trump. He keeps both of his armor smiths alive, and he's able to gain quite a bit of health from that. Effective health.
Well, now it just seems like a very natural progression to just start climbing back. And again, Trump's low on cards. This is where stuff like having the Acolytes or even Harrison Jones to draw is like so potent, because now you just don't line up your removal optimally. Like, how do you address this turn now? Baron Geddon doesn't get much done. Shield Slam on the Sludge Belcher is not what you want. You want it on a Giant.
When you're using a removal, plus putting out like a threat every turn, and not having any like innate draw, and the Warlock is like putting out 1 threat and drawing 2 cards a turn, unless you do find a way to draw, which you're pretty much limited to what? Shield blocks, which is basically just a cycle, or getting value out of acolytes. Then you can run out of juice, run out of gas really quickly as a warrior. It's a very fine line.
Do you think there's justification to just passing? Oh. Oh, well, he does. And in his mind, he just has nothing else to do.
Yeah, he doesn't have really the cards to be
Wow.
to be liberal with the things that he has right now, just on a Sledge Belcher.
Well, I'd feel great if I was Amy.
He just passed? Yeah, that's fantastic.
Well, he's also at 50 health. Trump's going to have 49 effective HP after this gets taken out. But then you have a Twilight Drake.
I feel like the health doesn't matter too much unless you get to fatigue.
Well, it often gets to the point where Handlock is like very low health at like the low teens, and then starts taking fatigue damage, and Warriors at like 30.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where legendaries like Alexstrasza are surprisingly effective in this matchup. It's another threat that does a lot of damage. Does sometimes more damage than Ragnaros, because Ragnaros does 8, and then Alexstrasza can do 15 plus.
Yeah. And you can control where it goes, like instantly, without having to worry about Rag like hitting something stray. But usually decks that run Alexstrasza also run Rag in tandem. Just naturally.
Well, it seemed like Sludge Belcher already proved to be quite annoying. How about another Sludge Belcher?
Let me hit you with another one. But is that really the best option?
I think so. I don't like Ragnaros as much. He'll have 7 armor remaining, and he just can armor up Shield Slam. I think Sludge Belcher is very good compromise.
Just gonna eat the Death Bite though.
That's okay.
You want to get that charge out on something.
And you know what? I even put out an Ancient Watcher as well. You can silence your Ancient Watcher to pressure next turn. If you silence your own Ancient Watcher and then lower the health and he attacks into it, then he'd have 12 armor, 11 armor with the attack. No, actually, no matter what, he'll still be able to Shield Slam Ragnaros. There's just too much armor. No matter how much you cut it. This is where the armor count really does matter.
Okay, well, Trump's starting to take the initiative, has a clean board now, but his armor's whittling away. Magicamy has a lot of answers at her disposal. And Trump still is just low on cards. He still just does not have too much. I mean, he's got Grommash Cruel Taskmaster, which is actually a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Because he would have lethal next turn if there's no wall put up. He knows there's no more Sludge Belchers left. He knows that she won't have Molten Giants this turn, and plus a taunt. So Siphon Soul would be an option, but she does not have Siphon Soul.
No. I do think the wall option might be her best bet here.
Mountain Giant. Ancient Watcher. Sunfear Protector. Even Earthen Ring Farseer. It seems like a little bit overkill though. If you're going to wall, you don't really need to.
Yeah, Mountain Giant plus the Ancient Watcher is fine. It's a good enough wall. Ragnaros plus the Sunfury Protector. Has it already come down to this? If this misses, she's dead.
Oh,
okay.
not
she
quite.
doesn't die. That plot twist.
Oh, well, it hits face. That gets rid of the
armor.
Shield Slam.
Yep. You still can effectively kill with Shield Slam anyways. Just need to toss and bear and get in. Wow, that's actually something I didn't consider. Ragnaros plus the Iron Beak Owl. That's actually very clever. Because now Trump can't kill him. Normally you do the 12 damage from Grommash plus Cruel Taskmaster. And then you just let the effect of Baron getting kill.
That's what you were talking about yesterday, handlocks. You have the knife at their nose. but you just can't connect. You're always so close to killing a hand lock, especially as Control Warrior.
But now, like, Baron Geddon can't fart on the board anymore. He's constipated.
No, he is. He's constipated, and his X-Lax is he left it in his work locker.
Hey, check this out. Do you see it? Baron Geddon's silence is perfectly caressed by the silk laces around him.
Wow.
It's actually like a spell circle,
yeah.
like a ritual circle, but I like calling it like a red velvet lace. But
And it actually looks like.
it like perfectly caresses his very muscular body.
What do you call that vest of bullets that like Rambo wears?
Bullet vest?
No, a bandolier. Came from my brain.
Yeah, but it's not even over his shoulders because he's so swole. It's like over his biceps.
He looks like if Rambo like was molten, like a molten Rambo.
He looks like what Lothar would be if he was made into a Hearthstone card.
Yup.
Well, actually, Lothar does have legs. He doesn't skip leg day. Let's be real now. Sludge Belcher, pretty annoying.
So many possibilities.
But now Magicamy has gotten some indirect confirmation that Trump couldn't deal with big Ragnaros easily with like a big game hunter. He floated 3 mana. I think now it's like an opportunity for you to set up defensive wall.
Ooh, this plays around Brawl.
Ah, I like it.
Awesome.
And shoots down the Sludge Belcher. Still a little inconvenient. Oh.
Danger.
Yeah, lots of danger.
Well, Rag is a risky play, but
it is.
you could guarantee no steal from Sylvanas, and then have a 33% chance, 0.3,
Repeating, of course.
repeating, of course, to hit the Rag. If you just throw in the slime wherever you want, kill the Sylvanas, plop down a Rag. Molten Giants are already cheap.
I mean, you don't have to do all that. You can just suicide into Rag, shield slam it, and then play Ragnaros yourself. Right? If
No.
you suicide into your opponent's Ragnaros and then just shield slam,
Oh, yeah.
and then Ragnaros yourself, it's
Sure.
still actually a very good sequence.
Yep.
I think that's what Trump's thinking about doing here.
Okay.
And by doing so, whatever it hits, he's somewhat okay with, because even if he hits the face, he's still setting up for a potential strong kill, because his opponent can't Jirax and answer. Oh, what a
Gooby!
draw.
Gooby just got a 5-3 arena run.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So he got a 7 run, he got a 3 run, and he got a 5 run?
Yeah.
So he's, on average, an average arena player.
Yeah.
Because 5 is like, 5 wins in arena gets you your money's worth.
Yeah.
7 gets your money back. And then 3,
You need to rethink your life
Well-
choices.
well, I mean,
No.
your draft choices
Yeah.
specifically.
I got the beast in my sight.
1 damage off once again. Just toying.
Somebody cue the music. Trump's 1 damage off lethal.
Oh man.
Silence on the Sylvanas. This is what Magicamy saved her out and Beak Owl for. Oh man. So silence, and then I guess you have to kill the giant. But the nice thing is then you can heal the giant. You are playing with fire because you have a big board for Brawl, but then you have double Moltens. Oh my. Now you don't have to Farseer anymore.
Yep.
What a tap. I was not expecting a life tap considering that she would float below, but It's perfect now considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I had multiple ways to get back up as well.
Unless she wants Trump to brawl.
Yeah, this would prompt a brawl. She's flooding the board a little more. It makes brawl a little bit more enticing. So
Fiery War Axe. So Magicamy got Trump. She convinced him to brawl. Trump gets the best case scenario, and now he sets up an opportunity to kill Magicamy with just weapon damage alone. He's also attacking in case her Magicamy had another way to heal, like Siphon Soul.
But now that brawl is down, 1 mana Molten Giants, a big wall could come down here.
Yeah. I think you double Molten. Oh my gosh.
Just go for it.
Yeah. That is just so much. 3 giants. It's like a family reunion. Trump's like, what?
Like, what do I do? Yeah, it's...
Oh
not
man. He
not
just
pretty.
used brawl. No. Uh-oh.
I mean, he's still alive, but it's...
Is he? Is he going to be alive for much longer?
Well, for the next turn. It's 24, 28. Draxus, 31.
This is unwinnable. Like, Trump used his brawl. I mean, Amy baited that perfectly.
Unless there's a second brawl, which I think is very unlikely. We saw a lot of Trump's deck earlier on. You just don't really have too much room for 2 brawls anymore.
Right. And it seems like this matchup has become so distant from Jiraxis. Like, usually Handlock players don't play Jiraxis anymore against Warrior, which is so funny because Jiraxis was one of the win conditions against Warrior for so long.
Now it's a liability.
Everyone realized Harrison was really good.
Well, Harrison Jones was tough to fit into a lot of decks in the past as well, just because Control Warrior wasn't as popular. There was a lot of other...
Well, specifically what made it hard was Jiraxis wasn't a popular card in most Warlock
That's
decks. True. Most people that played Warlock didn't have time to play Jiraxis.
Yeah.
They most often topped at Giants and then like a 6-mana minion like Sunwalker. That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Well,
that wasn't that far long ago, though.
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't that far along.
Yeah.
I think now you're still afraid to play Jiraxis, right? But if you do, you still get to put out 6/6 Infernos.
Why would you be afraid to play Jiraxis?
Is that a troll?
Tell them why.
Oh, because yeah, Harrison Jones might come in and cut your paws off.
Yeah. We did see Trump had 12 cards left in his deck, so he'd still be very, very safe to play it. I just don't... Yeah, there's just not much point to play Jiraxis.
Well, other than to feel epic.
Yeah, but feeling epic at risk of giving your opponent 7 cards is
the
not
board
the best
is
choice.
rumbling so much.
And will Magicamy find opportunities to BM, to throw it back in Trump's face?
I mean, she's so close to killing him, but Trump is also pretty close. That big game hunter, not that bad of a draw, honestly.
No, not at all.
But he can't do anything without giving up his entire hand and just barely surviving. That's going to do it, and Magicamy equalizes the series, sending it to Game 5.
And
which means we're going to see control.
I mean, I'd like to say this matchup comes a lot down to experience in the matchup. And I think Magicamy would have the edge in that. But maybe not, because Trump actually plays a heck of a lot of handlock.
Yeah. He does, and he played a lot of it recently, too, on stream. Now, this is going to come down to who has the right threats at the right time, and then if you do you have like a Shadow Flame to swing the momentum back, and if not, then you're probably dead.
You have to be really careful in this matchup not to overextend, especially later on, because it can be pretty enticing to want to put out just like one-up your opponent with more big threats. But Shadow Flame is such a huge swing card in that regard because you can have beneficial trades.
Whoa!
Whoa, hello!
Wait, what? How have we not seen this card?
She got down to 5 cards remaining.
Wait. She already has a golden Mal'Ganis too? That's not right.
When you have all golden cards, it's pretty easy to accumulate enough dust to make another golden.
That's not right, man.
Are you okay?
I'm just upset. I don't have any golden legendaries other than Malygos, which I opened once. Like a long time ago in the beta.
You know, Frodan, I have a golden Deathwing.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
I really do.
You're such a
I
liar.
really do. That's a fact.
Zombie Chow doesn't attack.
Why?
Doesn't want to evoke the wrath of Molten Giants. What happens in this matchup is you tap around 3 or 4 times by the time the mid game rolls around, and then if you float it enough, you don't have like if you float enough health, then you can't play the Molten Giants, and she doesn't have removal in her hand. What a draw too to pick up this Iron Beak Owl perfectly. Did she do the damage onto the Twilight Drake? Or does she toss in the Zombie Chow? The Zombie Chow is actually very powerful to disrupt your opponent. If, say it's like turn 8 and he has like 6 health and you just suicide Zombie Chow.
Yeah.
It like prevents them from playing Molten Giant.
And it's also getting some more value out of that Twilight Drake on the off chance that an owl would come out.
This is a new way to play this matchup, for sure. In a sense that not a lot of people take this approach at all.
No.
It's all about like, well, I have cards that might be able to kill you with Hellfire and Dark Bomb and stuff, but look at her hand. It's decorated with golden legendaries.
It's a very slow version of Handlock.
Okay, Amy, stop that. She's getting the perfect answers every time. The BGH right here. Now the question is, will she not attack again? It's consistent with her decisions. Kills off the Ancient Watcher because of Shadow Flame opportunity.
Yep.
Her Trump would be able to silence the Ancient Watcher, attack into the Drake, and then Shadow Flame it.
Wow.
This is very impressive.
This is
play from
next
Magic.
level.
This is very impressive play from Magicamy. If it works out well, I mean, Trump could easily just like overrun her if it ends up being that way, but
yeah,
this is very impressive.
Frodan is very giddy right now with his new Tempo Storm pickup. Magicamy.
Are you just gonna keep referencing that?
Yes.
The entire cast.
I'm trying to bait you into sharing all the juicy details behind the acquisition of
the details are for us, so Magicamy did very well. She is very well connected amongst a lot of the players. Like not just Temple Storm guys, but also like, you know, Sho and a few of the Magicamy friends like Teray, etc.
Yeah.
Storm. And someone suggested it, we looked into it, and Raynad acquired her. Boom.
Awesome.
How's that for drama?
That
Better
was-
than Raynad X Leah.
I don't think that even won.
Still better than Twilight.
Yeah. Well, Magicamy has definitely impressed me over the past couple weeks, and just by this game alone, this is some pretty next level handlock play.
The Mal'Ganis is what's really interesting to me, because I wonder if that ends up being a factor whatsoever. Unlike those bombs did nothing.
It's the ultimate late game drop. When you get into fatigue,
Yes.
And your opponent's like out of removal, and they're like relying on using
Like,
fatigue as a win condition.
Mal'Ganis is nothing but immunity, right? The only demon you have in this deck is Jiraxis, and he's not coming out onto the field. Is there another demon in the deck that I'm ignoring here?
Well, Infernals.
Oh, dude, that is true. Wait, but why? Why would you want that?
You're like, whoa, that's so cool. Wait.
But why?
Because I think that Mal'Ganis is just like the ultimate late game card. Like you play it like
Yeah.
after Jiraxis, and you don't even. I think you're right. It's just an immunity tool. I mean, it's great to get those +2/2s, +2/2 on the Infernals. If Infernal is even a demon, I don't even have confirmation on that. I threw that out there as an assumption, because Infernal seems like a demon. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, but it's like you get to those wars where, especially in warrior matchups or in slower matchups, where fatigue does come into play. Usually, your opponent will use their removal, with considering in that they're going to win with fatigue. You throw out a Mal'Ganis, they're out of gas, they're out of removal, you just win.
So, well, with that knowledge, I wonder if it becomes a factor. Maybe not. Either way, everyone's been put on notice, at least people who are watching here. There's no easy way to summon too, right? We didn't see a Void Caller. No,
Nope.
there's no way. Cool though, very cool. Look at this.
You just got to
Look at
summon
her
the
deck.
old.
She's got Ragnaros and Mal'Ganis and Sylvanas. How's that for greedy?
Well, I think a lot of players have been experimenting with another big legendary to sort of slow down handlock even more, for the more controlled matchups. I think some players were fooling around with Sneeds, Life Coach was, and I think even Firebat when he in his Pinnacle run, his handlock deck. Maybe no, it wasn't Firebat. Somebody played it as well. Sneeds and handlock.
Okay.
I mean, they're two completely different cards. They serve two completely different purposes, but just that late game
Sneeds
slow
and
slot.
Mal'Ganis?
Yeah.
No. What you do is you play Sneeds, you Shadow Flame it, and then Mal'Ganis comes out. Whoa!
Crazy.
Am I right?
That play almost feels like Control Warrior.
You're so stupid. Oh man. Well, looks like Trump's gonna Shadow Flame, and hopefully this Boombot can do some work. No, it only makes it a cheaper Molten Giant.
No, that's worst case scenario, I think, for that Boombot. The Boombot did not serve its purpose.
Okay, is this a safe time to Jiraxis? I think so. Aw. Because I thought that the player that can get Jiraxis out
Yeah.
is generally like at a pretty good advantage, and it's like super duper safe.
Yeah.
Because your opponent's at 19. Like, what is he gonna do in response?
Yeah. Because usually that first player that does get Draxus out forces your opponent to not really have an opportunity to have a safe turn to get Draxus. So sometimes it makes it so that your opponent can just never play theirs when you play yours.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just having a 2-mana 6/6 every turn for Shadow Flames or just as an additional threat, the sooner you can do that in this matchup, the better. In a lot of other matchups, it's a liability. But in this one, I think that sooner is better.
I like it against Priest as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Against Priest, it's generally pretty strong.
Haven't seen a Priest in the past 2 weeks except for Brian Kibler in Week 5.
Yeah, we did see Brian Kibler in Week 5. Priest has definitely fallen off of the radar a little bit, but all it takes is a player to tweak it a little bit, which is why it's sad that we haven't seen Amaz been able to innovate too much in Priest at the moment. I think he brought like Blingtron in.
Yeah.
But that was for the Kingwin event, and he did, I think, make top 4 that event. So since then, I don't think I've seen Amaz compete at all.
Well, he is our Priest savior, so maybe he will innovate soon and appease the masses.
Amaz is your savior for Priest?
Well, I don't play Priest.
Gotcha.
It's not like Control Warrior.
It's not enough like Control Warrior.
Yeah.
Alright.
You can only fit one slow deck into your repertoire, in my opinion.
Well, this is actually a very crucial turn here for Magicamy. I feel like she can go for board clear and then play it a little bit defensive and slow. She can choose to, like, if she goes for the Hellfire, she can clear the board and still play the Farseer. But then she lowers her opponent's health for Molten Giant, so that's like the trade-off here. So she Hellfires before she attacks. It's not miss damage. Some people are very confused at the moment when they watch it and they don't understand, like, why is she repeatedly refusing to attack? She's missed like 15 points worth of damage because of those 2 Molten Giants in the hand that get cheaper the more damage Trump takes.
Yeah, Handlock just doesn't have burst, so that damage just doesn't matter until you get to a stage later in the game where you know you can go for a guaranteed kill, just because of the risk of Molten Giants coming out.
So then what does Trump do here? He's got 2 Molten Giants, but is it that simple? Do you tap in 2 Molten Giants? Because then you can tap double Molten and Sun Fury.
His hand looks so boring, only because none of his cards are golden.
That's a Draxus as well. I like this. Oh, Dark Bomb. Okay, fair enough.
Well, this sets him up for a play next turn to be able to Jiraxis, just because he's gotten rid of those Molten Giants, which is the one of the things that hold you back the most from playing Jiraxis, because those Molten Giants they don't become unplayable, but very, very, very hard to play. So
this silence with the Owl and is actually like such a big problem here. I think Magicamy might have to Ragnaros here.
Wow.
She doesn't have a way to respond to his double Molten Giant. He's spent all game long preparing for this moment, and she's not prepared. She doesn't have the responses to the Giants that she needs.
She spent what? Held back on probably like 8
never
attacks.
Mind. She's got it.
Okay.
She tapped into she tapped into Molten Giant. She can Shadow Flame it. Wow, what a tap!
Calculated, because if she played Rag, she was almost certainly dead.
Right, almost certainly dead.
Yeah. So
and with that Defender of Argus, she definitely would have been dead.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well.
Wow, this game continues. This is an intense game 5.
This seems like Jiraxis.
Jiraxis Owl? You can Jiraxis, coin Owl, and kill the Drake.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's not a troll. You're looking at me like I'm trolling you. No.
No, I'm looking at you like I'm amazed.
Like, that's actually like a pretty good play.
What in my face said you're trolling me?
Just, you know, how you went full Gooby eyes on me.
Okay, well, I do think that's a fantastic play.
I think you take it out. You don't have to use Siphon Soul.
Yeah.
If you play the... Okay, this is what you have to do, though. You have to Owl and then coin Jiraxis. You don't Jiraxis coin Owl.
So many possibilities.
The Owl is the messenger that paves the way like John the Baptist for Jesus. No, this is the wrong sequence, Trump.
I don't... At first I was like, wait, is there like an actual game mechanic?
Oh, wait, he's not... Wait. He's gonna coin out an Inferno.
Okay.
Alright, well, he's going for the more aggressive route here. And then... Magicamy. I'm just expecting her to draw Sacrificial Pact right here.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
10... she's got 10, 11 damage right now.
Yeah.
Wait. Holy crap, she could 50-50 coin flip to win the game with Ragnaros. And if she misses, she destroys the Inferno. So you use the Dark Bomb, hit the face, put him to 7 health with the Drake, and then just slam down Rag.
Wow. And either way, that's a good situation. Because you still have 2 threats on the board. You're either winning the game straight up, or clearing the board completely. And Draxus is gone, so the health gain isn't there. Even a Siphon Soul wouldn't bring him back up. Well, you know,
Is there any other way? Do you have to do that?
Oh, you don't have to. I mean, you can like double Dark Bomb Sylvanas.
I'm kind of liking it the more I analyze the play.
Yeah.
Because your recovery options are pretty strong, and your opponent still has to have 4 damage unless he has Soulfire. This Ragnaros shot is going to determine the game, and we're burning down to the road. Trump can't even look.
Oh no!
Where's it gonna be?
Oh!
That is Game 5, and Magicamy goes to the semifinals, stopping Trump in his tracks.
And
What an explosive series.
she didn't show any emotion until that rag hit
Wow.
face.
Oh, poor Trump.